What's up, everyone? It is your girl, GELBEAUTY 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into another old school versus new school. So in today's old school versus new school, I got the Freddy Krueger Dream Master palette up against the Melt Cosmetics versus Melt Cosmetics Waiting Room palette with Beetlejuice. So I told y'all a while ago I felt like these would be similar in tone, and that's why I feel like you didn't need this along with the Chucky palette. But I feel like since this was the newest one and this one actually sold out with the quickness, and it gives me definitely the vibes of the Waiting Room palette, I figured I'd give y'all a battle of both of them. This is actually the Waiting Room. This is actually the Daydream or the Dream Master palette on my eye right now on this side, and then this is the Freddy Krueger palette on my other eye. But I figured we could go ahead and test both these out because I have both of them now. I wanted to do it a little sooner while this palette was still in stock, but unfortunately it didn't get to me till, you know, time passed. So I'm sorry about that, but I figured it'd be helpful for anybody who wanted this palette and didn't get their hands on it when it first launched, to see if this one is similar if you already have this palette. And if you don't, again, I'm sorry. I have given alternatives to these palettes though in the actual Freddy Krueger video, so if you want to see more alternatives to this palette, make sure you go watch that video. But without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm gonna talk about each palette and how I feel about each one, and then, you know, we're gonna swatch on the back of my arm and do each one off camera. So when it comes to Waiting Room palette, I loved this palette. I feel like this is one of their best palettes. I feel like the color story of this is nice. My only thing is I feel like a lot of the reds in here are too similar. That was always my issue with this palette, and I feel like a lot of people said the same thing I did. Like, the color story is too similar in this palette. As far as each set of tones that they did, it was too many of the similar tones that didn't, you know, vary when it came to you putting them on the eyes, to there being a difference in the skin tone or a difference in the tones on your eyes. So all of the form of this is nice, and the color story was nice, and it was original because this Glamlite one came out later. I feel like it's just too similar for you to feel like you got a whole bunch of different looks out of it. Now let's enter the Glamlite palette, but the quality is still good. It's the old Melt quality. Now with this palette, I feel like these two shades at the end, if you all saw my video on this originally, I feel like they were duds. The rest of the shades here I actually really like. It's just these two I'm not a fan of. I feel like this black shimmer doesn't give enough sparkle for that I like. And then this is one of those sequin shades that once you swatch it out, like all the red shimmer disappears and it's just like a black shimmer. So it's like essentially two black shimmerish shades, and then you already have a black and a dark red. So I wish this had just been what it was in the pan. But alas, I digress. The form on this is really nice. I like the fact that they give a variety of reds as well. I feel like I wish they had put a little bit more gray in here, but it's like I understand the concept of the color story as a whole and how it makes sense for what they were trying to do with the franchise. It's nice. They're both nice. So what we're going to do is, I'm zooming in real quick and cute like. I'm going to go off camera and get my life in order. So I'm going to use the Waiting Room palette off camera, obviously, because they don't make it anymore. This one is the newest one, so I'm like to use the newest one on camera to give y'all an idea how similar they are. I'm going to go off camera, swatch each palette. So it'll go Melt, then Glamlite, Melt, then Glamlite, Melt, then Glamlite on however many shades I use. Then I'll come back and show you in this palette which ones I'm going to use, and then I will have told you which names of each one I use in this one. Anyway, I'm gonna go off camera, get my life in order, and I'll be right back. Okay, girl? Okay. Okay, y'all, so this is the Melt Eye with the Waiting Room palette. And here the swatches of stuff we're using. So it's Melt, Glamlite, Melt, Glamlite, Melt, Glamlite, Melt, Glamlite, Melt, Glamlite. As you can see, like the Melt gray is more on like the taupey, I guess pewtered mauvey tone side, and you can see the Melt black isn't as black. I'm sorry, the Glamlite black isn't as black as the Melt black. So this is Glamlite, this is Glamlite. So I was like, So let's get into the look. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Cursed. That's the gray tone shade. The mauve, and this is a refer number 16, I believe. Yep, refer 16. Blending out nicely, but you can definitely tell it has like that mauve undertone to it, because the other side just looks, you know, like true classic stone, like gray. And this is giving off another like a bit of mauve undertone, kind of like the one that's in the Friday the 13th palette. You all know that little mauve tone section that's in there. It's giving off the vibe of that, which I never understood the purpose of the mauve tone section in that palette, but I'm just like, okay. I was thinking about filming a video about that too and putting it to get some more shade and see how that goes, but I feel like there's not enough tones in there to match up, but I might consider it. You can comment down below in this video and tell me if you want me to do that or not. I'm like, I don't know, because I was thinking about it, but I was like, I don't know. So like I'd have to bring both of them back because I left it at home. The new melt formula doesn't feel the same as like the old one. When it comes to the Morte palette, like, I feel like it's different. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Y'all can tell me, do you feel like it's different? I feel like it's different. Anyway, I'm gonna take the shade, what is it? Villain. And that's the black shade. And put that on the outer V. With my Sigma E25. I got like a few of these. I got like 3 or 4 of these. I don't know. But I need to get on that collab with Dion I was telling her about in the Jingle Bells video. I feel like the melt, what is it? The melt Christmas Sound palette is really similar to the Jingle Bell Ruby palette from Dede Signature. And since I know she can't use melt, I figured I could do the video on the melt one, just like I did with Juvia's Place when we did Juvia's Place versus Lethal, and then she could do a look with the other one, and then we can see how similar they are. We've done that like a couple of times now, so I just need to talk to her about that. The funny thing is, she just messaged me on Instagram asking me how things was going, because I told her my mom had to go for a colonoscopy, so she was asking me how like that went or whatever. I think that's what it said. I didn't get to read the message, but I know I told her about it, so I need to message her back and remind her that we got to do this video. But I need to change my intro, because I had originally just filmed it by myself, but then I was like, no, Dion has this palette, so it's something we can do like together, and then it'll give her another reason and another unique way to show the palette to you all, because y'all know Dion can't use as much stuff as I can because of her sensitive skin to like eyes and stuff like that. So I'm like, since we have matching palettes and it's something we can both use, I figured we would go ahead and use that. I'm gonna take the shade Terra now. That's the darkest red in here. And that's what's in the crease on the other side. So y'all know if you do one side, you got to do the other one. Although I feel like the shade in the melt ones are a bit deeper than this one. Just like I feel like the black in the melt palette is deeper than this one. But, you know. And then this gray is more mauve tone. So I can definitely see like the differences if you have like a preference. And I feel like you would be able to clearly see the distinction of the preferences in both these eye looks. So I guess it's good I did this so you can see the difference. Like a lot of the melt ones are a lot deeper, so if you want more like true to color shades when it comes to like the red, because I feel like both of those oxidize and get truly like deep like ox blood red, and not like more of this kind of burgundy red, which I would prefer the melt palettes to be, especially since both of them I feel like end up showing up as the same color. However, I like the fact that the melt matte black is definitely a deeper black. I feel like it's deeper than the Glamlite one. You can tell me if you feel differently, but I just feel like the melt one is deeper. So there's that. So we put the burgundy shade in, and now we're gonna put the red shade Dream Warrior in the on the lid, and we'll put Springwood Slasher in the, what do you call it, in the inner corner, and then we'll talk about my thoughts on which palette I like best. But I'm trying to give y'all a little review over time as I talk and put this on, so that way it won't take as long when it gets to the end. Because we've done our swatches, we did our intro talking about each palette and why I purchased each palette. Aside from the fact that I just do a lot of big videos and we know that's why, but you know. I'm waiting on another palette to show up tomorrow, y'all. I'm hoping it does like it's supposed to, because it'll be awesome. I can do another video. Do y'all still want a video on the Sugar Drizzle and Doodles by the Bunny like Halloween palette? Because I bought it because it was on sale, and I think I had like it had a discount coupon for like 25% off for you to purchase. This is Dream Warrior, and so I ended up buying because I wanted to get it, but I just didn't rush to get it because there were so many Halloween palettes coming out, and I figured it was gonna be like the other ones and not show up on time. So I was like, I didn't want to be stuck with a whole bunch of Halloween stuff around Christmas time, and then people not really watching, or like fall palettes, people not really watching, like the Ensley Reign Harvest Moon palette. I don't feel like did that great, but it's like it took 2 months to get here, so it's like that's why. But that's on me, so I'm not like faulting them or whatever. It's just I feel like I normally have better views on Ensley Reign palettes because, you know, they end up showing up. I end up getting them on time, and then when they show up in a timely fashion, more people are interested. But since that one took like 2 months, I get people not watching it. That's why I told whoever watched it, I'm like, thank you so much for taking the time to watch it, since, you know, like I'm like 2 months behind everybody else, but I had to get it when the pre-order shipped. So, and the nice thing is she gave us 20% off the Land of Enchantment for the people that like were waiting on their was it Harvest Moon palette, since it was delayed longer than it was supposed to be, she gave us a 20% off coupon. So when I bought my Land of Enchantment palette, instead of getting 10% off, I got 20% off because I had a coupon. I mean, there was some benefit to it. I'm gonna go back in with Villain and just go back over this. I feel like the reds look really similar though. That's one thing I say. I feel like the reds look identical on the lid. Like I feel like if I used two, that you can't tell I used two different palettes. I feel like it looks a little bit more glittery, and on the melt side, a little more metallic on the Glamlite side. But otherwise, I feel like they look pretty damn similar. I'm like, okay, and can you see the difference in the tones and the crease? I just feel like this side's a little bit more like burgundy and this one's a little bit more like oxbloodish, if you will, and that's the difference I can tell as well. With the grays, it's not as bad, but I can still see the little nuance of like the more mauve-ish purple vibe to this gray than opposed to a true like stone classic gray that I was expecting. So that's okay too. We're gonna take this E30 pencil brush now and go into the Springwood Slasher for our inner corner. Now I know this is more silver and the melt one is more taupey, and I think like the melt one is more iridescent. I feel like the Glamlite one is more metallic. Yeah, it's definitely more metallic than this one. That one I feel like is a little bit subtler, and you know melts shimmers have a tendency to be a little more of like that crumbly, like kind of thick emollient formula when it comes to their shimmer. So there's that. But yeah, I have finished both of my eye looks, so let me pull them back and we can talk, girl, about how I'm feeling about all of this stuff. Now that I've done both the eye looks, so I did the Freddy Krueger palette video before this one. I don't know what order I'm gonna put them in though. I'm thinking I want to put this one up first and then Freddy Krueger last. But let's talk about my thoughts on both the eye looks. So I feel like both the eye looks look stunning. Y'all know me. I got different things I like about each palette for different reasons. I kind of talked a little bit in the video about it as I went. But I like the mattes and the melt one better when it comes to like the black. I feel like the black does a great job. I like the fact that the gray is true to gray and not pulling mauve-ish. However, I can appreciate the mauve-ish gray and the fact that the there's different ranges of reds in here, because I feel like that's what's lacking when it comes to the melt palette. You get two light reds and then you get this deeper red to go along with it, whereas with the melt one you only get the two deeper reds, and they're both like kind of oxblood is kind of deep if you all saw from my swatches. So I will say there are things I like about each palette, but if I had to choose, I'm still gonna go with the melt palette. I just like it a little bit better. I do like the fact that there's a silver in the Glamlite one though, that's a little more potent, but I choose the melt one just because I feel like I like the color story of that one a little bit better. I appreciate the color story of the what is this, the Dream Master, but if I had to pick, I still pick my melt palette. But you can comment down below and tell me what you think, if you agree or not, and you know what your thoughts are behind all of this, because I'm just noticing that they're doing a lot of color stories that I feel like are similar to melt, and I noticed Unearthly Cosmetics did the same thing. So I talked about that in the Freddy Krueger video though. But those are my thoughts on the palettes. Comment down below and tell me what you think. Make sure you subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.